The way out is through, because if nothing changes, nothing changes. If you do the same thing, you either make the loop, you make it stronger, or you break it. Now, breaking the loop is harder than making it because we make it unconsciously. We make the loop without thinking about it. We've always done it. We've always got angry. We've always planned the perfection that one hasn't gone away. We've cracked up. And it's learned behavior. But the way out is through. And again, for me, I learn in stories. And I'm going to tell you the story of how we break out of stuff. And this story is the story of the buffalo and the cow. So we have become obsessed with labels. I'm not brave, or I'm anxious, or whatever. But I think when you look at emotional intelligence, what we realize is it's all temporary. It all comes and goes, and in peaks and troughs and waves. And the Irish language actually, I think, sums it up best. It has a wonderful expression, tabronorum, which means sadness is currently upon me, knowing that tomorrow or the next week it'll not be there anymore. It's just showing that flow of emotion comes and goes, but we become fixated by it. We label ourselves with it, but emotions always change, just like the storms always come and change and come and go too. And when we talk about emotional regulation and the storm, we talk about the cow and the buffalo. And the cow and the buffalo both grazing on the plains of the Midwest and chilling out, eating grass, doing what cows and buffaloes do. And both of them, their intuition picked up that in the distance, a storm was coming. A storm was coming from the west. And so the cow stood up. And as it stood up, it seen in the distance thunderclouds, lightning, torrential rain, wind. And I thought, I'm not having that. There's no chance. I was comfortable. I am not having that. So what the cow does, the cow starts going east. It starts trying to avoid the storm. It starts running away. Not race. It's trying to avoid nature itself. It's trying to avoid these natural flows. The storm doesn't care if it's a cow or a buffalo. It's just going from west to east. So the storm's following the cow, and the cow's trying to run away from the storm. And the cow collapses in exhaustion, and the storm is beating off it. It's cold, it's rainy. What does the cow do? Why always me? Why? Every time there's a storm, I get soaked. It's the victim. The buffalo, which is very similar in nature, just the way humans are, we're very similar, but it made a different choice. It made a different decision. The buffalo stood up. It also sensed that in the west, there was rain and thunderclouds and lightning strikes. And it decided the way out is through. So the buffalo turned to face the storm and actually started walking towards it. And it started walking into discomfort, knowing that storms pass, knowing that these things come and go. Fear comes and goes. And as the storm approached the buffalo started running right through the storm itself. So the buffalo's running west and the storm goes east, and the discomfort's short and sweet. And the buffalo gets out the other side and it continues eating grass and it relaxes, but it now has extra resilience. It's developed its confidence. It has these new experiences. And the cow is still sitting over here. And I think so many people, we try to avoid life's storms that inevitably come. We try and avoid the ups and downs. We try to do that. And I'm often asked is there a success for high achievers in any field? And I think a big part of it, I don't have the answer, but I think a big part is when they are really clear in their own individual purpose, like their calling, and they're really, really clear on their individual vision, and they commit to the process of achieving that. And by committing, I mean committing to the ups and the downs. And so that when the storm comes, whether it's injury, whether it's bankruptcy, whether it's uncomfortable conversations that need to be had in a relationship, it faces into them and it leans into it, knowing I've committed to getting better. I've committed to this process. Does that make sense? So the way out is through. The way out isn't in avoidance. Unfortunately, if we want to break free of a negative emotional pattern, we have to go through it. We have to heal from it. We have to be aware of it first and foremost. But it's all choice. It's not an easy choice, but it's a choice. And I think sometimes we need to be more like a buffalo. And go back to Bob Marley's Buffalo Soldier. And that line summed it up best when I was 16 years of age. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None will save your mind. And you always hear people saying, no one's coming to save me, or the late great Jim Rohn said, no one's going to do the press ups for you. But this is personal responsibility. This is the epitome of it. If you decide this is holding me back, this is holding me back from my vision or being the version of me that I want to be or know that I can be, it's up to us to change it. It is absolutely up to us to change it.